Okay, welcome everybody. In this video, I want to talk about the select function from the dplyr package. The select function, this allows us to kind of slice out columns of a data frame. We talked about the slice function earlier, which allowed us to kind of slice out rows of a data frame based on certain conditions. So the select function is works similarly, but this is going to tell us which columns we want to slice out. And we can do it in really slick ways. So we'll see that there are some nice ways of fine tuning this to do things that we could not have necessarily done just by indexing in base R that we learned earlier. And if you're kind of curious about getting under the hood of the select function or any of these functions in the dplyr package, you can always access the help documentation by doing the usual question mark function name. Okay, so just to get a sense of like what the syntax looks like, if I wanted to just select one or more columns from a data frame. So for example, if I want to go into the storms data frame and pull off just the latitude and the longitude columns, that command would just simply look like this. Select storms, comma, lat, comma, long. And that's it. I'm not going to run this code cell because this is going to print a huge amount of stuff to the screen that I don't want to see. Because these commands in dplyr, the output creates a new data frame. And so if I just run this code cell, this is going to print, it's going to try and print the entire data frame to the screen, which I don't want to see. But my point here is I just want to show you what the code would look like in its simplest form without using the pipe. This would just pick off two columns, and the syntax here is the usual thing in the dplyr package, which is the first thing is we enter a data frame name, then we enter variables or column names, and we don't put quotes around those column names. So latitude, lat, and long, these are the two column names in the storms data frame. In this code cell, I'm doing the same exact thing using the pipe. So I'm going to take storms, input it into the select function. So all of this stuff that I've highlighted so far does the same exact command as the previous code cell. This just inputs storms into the select function and then says pick off the latitude and longitude columns from the storms data frame. And now I'm going to pipe that into the print function so that we get a concise printout rather than like a gigantic full printout of the entire data frame. So now this just printed, this just pulls off just the latitude and the longitude columns from the original storms data frame. And what's nice is we can get creative with this. If you recall, this storms data frame, we kind of use the glimpse function to take a look at the variables in this data frame. There are two variables that end with the word diameter, or at least they end with meter. So if I want to say I want to create a data frame that just has these last two columns on them, we could do some nice things like I want to select all of the columns in my data frame that end with the string meter. So here I can say take the storms data frame, go into it, and then select the columns. And rather than input like the entire name of the column, I can say I'm going to enter, this is almost like a logical condition, all of the columns that end with the character string meter. And now I do need to enter that in quotes because I am not, this is not the name of a variable. Here I'm actually trying to enter a condition that is the variable name ends with this character string. And rather than do a print command, a concise print of the first 10 rows, here I'm going to do a slice head to print the first 10 rows of the data frame. It's not very interesting because the first 10 rows all have NAs because these were values that were not recorded at that time when those observations were recorded. But you can see here that it did pull off just those two columns that had names that ended with the string meter. Okay, so that is some nice slicing of columns using the select function from the dplyr package. Thanks, everyone.